My name's Sam Coxhead. We're here in Te Puke, up rather high at kiwifruit development. At the moment we've got first block of G3, the Gold Kiwifruit. We had bare land in 2018 and we had to go through very much a learning process of developing the orchard. First crop came off after 2.5 years, but there was a lot of work in that initial period, planting structure to irrigation, shelter, and then obviously canopy management. We source our water from a bore which is a couple of k's away out on the main farm. We need to control that and then obviously turn the irrigation on in the current block, which has got 3 irrigation zones and then 1 for the shelter. I control the generator that runs the bore and the solenoids for the irrigation zones run on my phone. Once you're up and going, it's pretty easy. Just log in, press which irrigation zone for how long you want to irrigate, and you go from there. One of the things we've added this season is, and really importantly, is soil moisture probes. And so the tensiometers placed throughout the orchard will really give us, the soil moisture at different levels, and then we can just make sure that we're maintaining the moisture at optimal levels. Especially in the first 6 weeks after flowering, the cell division stage is key, and you've got to be well irrigated over that time, but you also don't want to over irrigate. After that you need to taper off, and especially in January and February, you really don't want to irrigate much, no matter how hot it is, to drive the fruit maturity. The weather station's been really useful, so that's part of the irrigation and bore control setup. And yeah, I use that a lot, the transevaporation numbers that produce the great wind speed, know when to drop our side curtains that go around the side of the orchard if it's going to get windy. We also do orchard scanning, which is a relatively new thing for us. Last season we started, and the company that Eastpak were doing a pilot program with, which we were part of, is called Fruition. These guys have a quad bike with a huge number of cameras, and they zip through the orchard at a reasonably quick pace. They go through under your canopy, they start off with bud counts, then flower counts, fruitlet counts, and then ultimately fruit counts after you've done all your thinning. So the technology produces data that helps you really focus on the areas that need work. And given the labour shortages and the cost of labour these days, that's really, really helpful. So you can direct the labour to certain rows or parts of the orchard to maximise their productivity. We're 5 k's out along a farm track, and it was literally hay paddocks. So we don't have power out here, so I've been forced to operate from my phone as much as possible. Initially it was a little bit challenging, but more and more so the websites and apps that you use are mobile friendly. The Zespri website's been really useful, so they've got a grower portal called Canopy, and I use that for technical advice. Also the Packhouse have a very useful website, and they also have an app which I use at harvest time. So when as your bins are picked and then put on a truck and taken to the packhouse, you can see as they're being received and what your reject rates are and things like that. So that's really useful. You can also use the Zespri portal and the Eastpak site to track your fruit as it is shipped offshore, and looking at storage levels and fruit loss. As an industry, we've got through the last couple of years, touching wood pretty well. It could have been a catastrophe, but that's the nature of kiwi fruit. A lot of working together and collaboration, which is good. Coming in with an open mind has been really useful, I think, because there's a lot of people that you speak to and give you different views, and some people are more what you would call old school, and other people are kind of really tech savvy and almost over enthusiastic. But we just, got an open mind. We try and embrace whatever's useful to us and what is importantly easily useful. The only regret is probably not pushing a little bit deeper more quickly, because it certainly saves you time, money and frustration.